the. So did you have another job right at the military, or you kind of just went right into this?
So I got out of the military to work in the film and TV industry. I had a
Mhm.
job lined up as a production assistant, but then everything really like hard shut down. And I was basically like, all right, well, I might as well use my time to do something, pursue something, And then when the time came where I got the call, and they're like, hey, you want to come be a production assistant on, it was the spinoff of Blackish. I can't remember what it's called, but it was a decently sized show. And the guy was like, we start in 2 weeks, and you're the first person I called, because he was ex-military, so that's kind of our connection. And I was like, you know what? I started this social media thing, and it seems to be taking off. Like, I think I'm gonna stick with it and keep investing in that. Um, but I appreciate the opportunity. He was like, well, he's like, I respect that, man. He's like, at least you're making something out of this mess. And he's like, there's always a job here if you want it. I was like, all right.
That's awesome.
But now I'm actually looking at there's a talent agency out here. I might actually look into acting. So I think that could be an interesting way to keep
Yeah,
growing things.
and that still gives you a flexibility to do what you're still doing.
Yeah. And I mean the acting is so much different because as a production assistant, you make like 100 when you first start out, you make like $100 a day. Like they literally do like these lottery things on sets, and I don't know if anybody, I don't know if they really talk about it, but like they'll do things where um like you put in a ticket, and the tickets are however much money. So somebody be like, all right, put me down for 20 tickets. It's $20. But then the whole set puts in these tickets, and whoever wins, their ticket gets called. They get the money, and they usually it's kind of respectful to split the other half with the production assistant who that day was turned to put the tickets in, because
Mhm.
they make nothing. Like I think I'd be in trouble right now if I was a production assistant, because I only had
Yeah,
so much money saved up out of the military, and I moved to New Mexico because we were looking at rent and everything, and it was like if this content creation thing doesn't take off, we're gonna be in trouble in a couple
yeah,
months, because rent was like two
and
grand alone. So
yeah, and for you, that's like, okay, I gotta be the best version of myself I could be in terms of that. And for you, that's that's big too, like because that's an investment in yourself, man. That's like I gotta make sure I can do this. You're not falling back. Oh, let me grab a 9 to 5 job or a part time job, or I know I'm gonna make money, but I'm not gonna have fun doing it. And it's gonna hold me back a little bit on my content creation stuff. But for you, you're like, okay, I'm all in on myself, and I'm bringing my family with me. So that's something that says a lot about you as a person in terms of your drive and all that stuff. But going back to what we were saying before, like you straight coming out of that, like how did what was the conversation that you had with your fiance at the time, and be like, hey, like this is what I want to do, and I know a lot of people don't think it's a real job, but to me, and I'm going to make it a real job, but she has to probably know you like as a person, be like, okay, I know Danny can do
yeah,
this.
so I think she kind of knew how hard I worked for like my job in the military, because I did helicopter search and rescue, and so like I had to get qualified to not fly but be a flight mechanic. Because basically my job was, if the
Mhm.
helicopter broke down, we landed in the middle of a field or on a beach. It's my job to fix it so we can fly back to base. And so,
Mhm.
at a high coming out of high school, it's like having that much responsibility is a lot. So I think she already knew my drive as a person. Just getting into the Coast Guard, because nobody knows anything about the Coast Guard. Like I think the score that you have to get on the ASVAB, which is like the test you have to take, right, to qualify for certain jobs. For the Marines, it's like 35. They were like,
Mhm.
you're not even gonna like go to MEPS for the Coast Guard unless you get a 75. So like right away, it was like, this is a challenge, you know. So
Mhm.
it was always like, and my mom always reminded me, because my stepfather was in the Coast Guard. He's the reason I even know about it. Um, and so like my mom was always reminding me, hey, when I was having a hard time, because I would tell her like, man, this sucks. Like I have to do this, I have to do that, and like, kind of venting, but at the same time, just, talking to my mom, she'd be like, just remember that, like there's only 3,000 people in the world that do this job, stuff like that. And so she always kept me kind of like looking at the brighter side of things. And so that's kind of rubbed off to the point where I'm always like, I'll be like, you know, babe, I know it sucks that I'm up till 3 in the morning, but like, look how well the YouTube's doing or whatever, you know? Like, I always remind her because we're always talking about when are we going to take a break, you know? And,
Yeah.
you know, I need a break every once in a while, but at the same time, I'm like, taking a break almost gives me anxiety right now, you know?
Yeah, because what if you miss something and you come back and things aren't the same? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, but nobody knows at what point you can just take a break and then come back and like everything's fine. You're not gonna lose stuff. I do feel like I'm at the stage where if I took like a couple days off, when I come back, it would almost be stronger because there's people who would like miss it, you know.
mhm,
Um, but like to me, I got so much momentum going that I'm afraid to like mess it up, you know. So
yeah.
we're
I
definitely
understand.
thinking down the road, like what you know, maybe during the summer we'll go to Disney World or something if things are open. But I'm like, I'm just gonna make content out of it. That's the beauty of like having a family, more family oriented style of content. So, um,
Yeah, like I mean, how many of your followers would love to see Little Man, ripping it up at Disney? Like
yeah, for
that's
the first time, yeah,
you know,
yeah, no, it's
rating the cheeseburgers at Disney
yeah,
at each
yeah,
different
yeah.
place.
For him, you know, it's just all of them are
Yeah.
yummy. So